Welcome to the course Design of Reinforced Concrete Structures. Myself, S. Kranti Vijaya, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, Vignan Institute of Information Technology. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the assumptions for limit state of collapse flexure. So, first, we'll see what are the assumptions given in IS 456 2000 for the limit state of collapse flexure. So, as per clause 38.1 of IS 456 2000, for the design of members in limit state of collapse in flexure condition, the assumptions what they have made is, the first assumption is the plane sections normal to the axis remain plane after bending. So what does this mean? This means that the strain variation is linear. So if we'll draw a strain profile, so the plane sections normal to the axis remain plane after bending. That tells us that the strain variation is linear. So if we draw a strain profile, the strain variation is linear. So this is the first assumption. Now the second assumption is the maximum strain in concrete at the outermost compression fiber is taken as 0.0035. So if we'll draw the strain profile, what this is the compression zone and this is our tensile zone, isn't it or not? So regarding all these things we have discussed in the previous class. So what is the assumptions they have made? That is the maximum strain in concrete at the outermost compression fiber. So this is going to be our outermost compression fiber. And what is the maximum strain? So this is the strain profile. So the maximum strain for concrete at the outermost compression fiber, it is taken as 0.0035 in bending. So for the limit state of collapse flexure condition, the maximum strain in concrete is taken as 0.0035. The next assumption is the relationship between the compressive stress distribution in concrete and the strain in concrete may be assumed to be either rectangle, trapezoidal, parabola or any other shape. So what? For suppose let us draw the stress distribution for the concrete. So the stress distribution for the concrete, it can be of any shape. That is, it can be a rectangle. Either the stress distribution might be rectangle or it can be trapezoidal or it can be also parabola. So any shape can be used. It depends upon the test results. But as per IS 456 2000, for the limit state of collapse flexure, the stress block parameters or the stress diagram for the concrete is taken as parabola up to a strain of 0.002 and from a strain of 0.002 it is linear up to a strain of 0.0035. So this is what? This is the stress block for the concrete. So the stress block for the concrete up to a strain of 0.002. It is what? It is taken as parabola and from a strain of 0.002 it is taken as linear. So This is the third assumption which is made. Now the next assumption is the design compressive strength of concrete in the structure is assumed to be 0.67 times of characteristic strength divided by the partial safety factor. So we have in the previous classes we have already discussed the stress strain curve for concrete. So in the stress strain curve for concrete, so how the characteristic compressive strength is denoted by? It is denoted by FCK. So this characteristic compressive strength is for cube. Now what? In the design, what we have to do? We have to consider the design compressive strength. So how we'll find out the design compressive strength? The design compressive strength is nothing but the compressive strength of concrete in structure divided by the factor of safety. So what is the compressive strength of concrete in structures? So the compressive strength of concrete in structures is taken as 0.67 times of the characteristic compressive strength of the cube. So this will be 0.67 FCK divided by the factor of safety. So the partial safety factor for concrete is taken as 1.5. So divided by 1.5 will give you 0.45 FCK. So the design compressive strength of concrete is taken as how much? It is taken as 0.45 FCK. So this is the next assumption. So the next assumption is the tensile strength of concrete is ignored. So what does that mean, the tensile strength of the ignored? So all the tensile forces are taken up by the steel reinforcement only. So the tensile stresses are not taken by the concrete. So that is the reason why the tensile strength of the concrete is ignored. So the next assumption is the stresses in reinforcement are derived from the representative stress strain curves for the type of steel used. So in the previous lectures we have already seen the stress strain curve for the mild steel bars as well as the stress strain curve for the HYSD bars. So that is the design stress for the reinforcement. It is taken from the stress strain curves based on the type of the steel which we are using. So what are the types of steels we have? One is Fe250, which is a mild steel bar, and the other one is we have the HYSD bars. The HYSD bars being the Fe415 and Fe500 grade. So these are the two types of steels what we have, isn't it or not? So the design stresses are taken from the stress strain curve. So in the previous lectures we have already seen the stress strain curve. So what is the design stress in that? It is Fy divided by the partial safety factor. So what is the partial safety factor taken for steel? The partial safety factor which is taken for steel is 1.15, which will give you 0.87 Fy. So the design stress for the reinforcement is taken as 0.87 Fy for both the mild steel bars as well as the HYSD bars. So here you can observe, for the design purpose the partial safety factor for the steel is taken as 1.15. So this is the other assumption. Now the next assumption is the maximum strain in the tension reinforcement in the section at failure shall not be less than this value. So what? previous assumption we have already seen that what the maximum strain in the compression zone at the outermost compression fiber is taken as how much? It is 0.0035. In the similar way for the steel reinforcement, okay, the maximum strain, it shall not be less than 0.002 plus 0.87 Fi by Es, where Fi is nothing but the yield strength of the steel and Es is nothing but the modulus of elasticity of steel. So these are the assumptions for limit state of collapse flexure. So based on these assumptions only we are going to design the beams in the further classes. Thank you.